probably lowered the likelihood that we're gonna immediately get kicked out.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably.
Anyhow, so is everyone ready?
Yeah.
All right, we can begin.
Yeah.
All right. When we last left off, you guys defeated a something from the stars, failed to move a meteorite, and then got on a boat headed for Griffon's Perch. Um, at the moment, you are all on a ship of sheep in the cargo hold, surrounded by many, many sheep. What are you doing?
Well, I did talk about this earlier. Uh, I talked about this earlier in the week. What we would be doing on the way before the session started, but um at this point, Stella would probably be just passing the time, just resting, holding some cards, and just enjoying the moment of respite.
Uh, I would be most likely, if possible, hugging sheep every now and then, checking up on Princess, and whenever I've gotten bored of that, I will find a secluded corner and hmm continue my work, my project.
You can find a secluded corner away from your teammates. However, as you find like a corner away from them, you kind of have a moment of finally some peace. Then you feel something like pat the side of your head as a sheep licks you, looks you in the eyes, and just goes, "Meh."
Sheeps don't tell secrets. I don't care.
All right then, make a check. And other people, what are you doing?
I'm gonna pull up against the side of the boat, sit down, pull out my
Nice.
sort of the sort of half put together remnants of my little homunculus project. I'm gonna pull out the little guy still ringing there, and sort
Okay,
of finger it over a little bit.
sure.
Just thinking about everything that's been happening over the past few days and how many times I've nearly died, all that's gone on, and all that's led up to this.
Okay. Are you
Well,
properly animating your homunculus?
What?
Your homunculus, are you animating it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna watch his wings flutter a little.
Remember that you can only have two infusions active at a time.
Oh yeah, yeah. I dropped the armor of magical strength for now.
Okay.
Granted, this is more just roleplay since I don't have the crystal yet. But
Yep. Well, no, you do. The ring works
The
for it.
ring.
The ring functions as the crystal.
oh, it fully functions as I
Yes.
didn't realize it fully
That
functioned
that
as.
yes, that was the purpose of that scene.
Boy.
boy.
I thought that was like a stepping stone to the crystal. Oh, okay.
No, it's
The ring
it's
is
a
the
level two.
crystal.
It's a level two artificer ability. You don't need to go travel super far to find the magical crystal of awakening one of my four powers.
In that case, yeah, I definitely want that little homunculus.
Okay. With
Also,
that,
this is my project check. Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah, and with your project check, yes. Given the days that you spent working on this, you finally complete it. Everyone else, make a wisdom saving throw.
What?
I'm joking. I'm joking. Your project is complete. Everyone else, give me a save. No, Ophion and Benedict. What are you guys doing in your sheep boat?
Well, considering we're on a literal boat after being teleported only about, what, 2 or 3 days ago, I'm assuming that whoever's trying to kill us has no idea we're here, and, well, we're out on the open water, so, yeah,
And with
we're
with
safe.
with the Arcana check you made, you would know that the ring blocks divination for 24 hours. So while it is potentially back up, you have no way of knowing. It is at the very least you at the very least scrambled them for a time.
Oh, the ring that was sacrificed with the Stella's ring. You
Yes,
mean talking
that
about? Oh,
that healed
oh,
words of recalls and blocks divination for a little bit. It's basically the ultimate getaway.
wow.
That's a good ring.
Yeah,
That's what
no
it
one.
was worth the
What the
money.
fuck?
Now I understand why it's single use. But yeah. Okay, so yeah. So without any considering we're pretty much utterly safe for the time being, and fittingly because we're on a boat filled with literal sheep, I'm just gonna maybe sling a hammock together between two wooden posts or beams on the other side of the ship, and I'm gonna catch some Z's
All right.
to truly relax.
It's definitely new trying to sleep on a boat, which is in constant motion. You're not used to that. Also, just every now and again, a sheep bumps into you, or licks your face, or just kind of sniffs you. It's not the most pleasant sleep you've had, but you get some sleep.
I actually find I tend to sleep really well when I'm on the water, the boat just gently rocking back and forth. I'm
Maybe
assuming there's no
Benedict
storm or
has
anything.
that. Maybe Benedict has that. He's not used to this many sheep, so.
Sheep ruining sleep? Aw.
Have you ever
You're
been
not
around real?
counting them. That's
Have
the
you ever
issue.
smelled real sheep? They're not as peaceful
Um,
as you think.
I'll take you. Okay,
Yeah.
farm boy, I'll take your word for it.
Oh no, I've been on the farm. Yeah, no. Sheep are good to count, not to smell.
And Ophion, what are you
I
doing throughout
imagine
the?
Stella wouldn't be too phased by it. Stella's definitely slept in worse.
Yeah, Stella's fine.
Ophian's probably just gonna try and study up on magic and stuff again. And every time like a sheep gets too close, he kind of like pokes it and like, no, no, move, get out of my way, no,
You gonna bite the sheep?
no, he will not bite the sheep.
I think
Ophion is a very well behaved.
like horses, sheep don't like snakes. They have an aversion to that, so they actually give you a nice berth.
Good.
Yeah. Now, if you find a dog, that's where we'll have an issue.
Yeah. Now, after a time, you hear from up top. All right, everyone, we're getting near the island. Got a check that you all have to go through, so up and at 'em.
All right, then. All right.
All right.
So we'll just like put everything away and just take a big stretch. Just. All right.
And as you are
Here goes.
stopped, you get a full view of Griffon's Perch. Though there are beaches surrounding it, the brunt of the landmass stands forward like the Great Cliffs of Dover, although they're not as white. Look that up if you want to know exactly what I'm on about. You can already from here see a number of like large houses and buildings and other things lining the top of the cliff. Some brave ones built onto the side of it. By the sides, there's several docks where a number of other ships are leaving, coming in. Some of them just dropping off cargo. And every now and again, if you look up, you will see the. Give me a history check.
Well,
No.
No.
six. Six.
It's gonna. Is that?
All right, the 15 will tell you. In reading about this area, wow, none of you can roll well tonight. The
I'm not from here.
The DC was
Sam.
10. Yeah. Yeah, you've read about this, Ophion. That probably your animal brain does not like seeing these winged predators above, but there used to be a very large population of griffins and hippogriffs in this area. The people who took the town have mostly got it under control, and now while not most of the guard, there is the elite guard, if you will, also known as the Talon Guard, are known for riding hippogriffs as they scout and protect the city. You can see several of them above, and on the bow of the ship, One has landed and is kind of just taking notes, seems to be doing like Coast Guard duties of who are you, why are you docking your ship, and what are you carrying.
Wait, they train the griffins to.
Hippogriffs. They're a lot easier to train than griffins.
Griffs are easier to train than griffins, for sure.
Basically, hippogriffs are hawk and horse. Griffins are lion and eagle. Both hawks and horses are significantly easier to train than their counterparts.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Griffins also used to live here a lot, but because they're hard to tame and because they're more dangerous, they're mostly, not completely extinct, but they're very rare in this area now. They were mostly hunted out. It's considered a symbol of very, very high esteem if you are a rare griffin rider.
Interesting.
And yes, the captain will point your way, and the guard will say, so you're the guests on the boat. May I have your names for the ledger?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't all speak at once.
My name is Stella.
Benedict.
Just Draghi for me.
Looks at you, Velistrom.
Philisham Lyle Margrave. Pleasure.
He'll note this all down. And your purpose in the city?
At least my purpose, I'm, visiting a friend.
Sightseeing, looks like.
Interested in the Fletcher Observatory.
Very not vague from the lot of you. Give me some kind of persuasion check or charisma check or something.
Persuasion.
You can see he's doing like the guard / cop thing of, do I want to take extra time to search them?
18.
What are you doing? By the way, you also have to describe what you do to convince him that you're not worth searching.
Like,
Oh, wow.
alright, Stella,
We're bits of a suspicious.
with a natural 20, Stella's just going to, like, look, I didn't want to say it outright because it's a little personal, but I'm visiting family I haven't seen in a long time, and I'm not from around here, and, I haven't really traveled on my own, especially since my father passed away, so I wasn't really sure how to explain it.
Got it. He seems to be doing more of a please God, just don't tell me your life story. Like, okay, I get it.
And
Simply
at this point, Stella's just gonna be like, oh, sorry, thank you.
And he'll like, all right, don't cause any trouble. Welcome to Griffin's Perch. And the boat pulls
Thank
in.
you.
As it docks, the captain will sort of show you off before they start releasing the sheep. And with that, you have arrived. There's still a small climb up several natural paths and walkways up the cliffs, but they're very well traveled. There's like a line of people going up. Seems pretty safe. Although, as a point of entry, you do see one or two like Talon Guard just kind of lazily doing circles, watching over the area.
As soon as the guard is out of earshot, Stella's just gonna chuckle a bit, turn to the party, and just like, how'd you like that one? Pretty good, huh?
what to be expected, if not for you to tell your whole life story, just for an explanation.
I mean,
You managed to bore the guard into leaving us alone. Yes, thank you very much.
It's like the
Hey.
opposite of
I mean,
that
no,
saying.
no. I mean, not an insult, but you
I've
know,
learned it-
guards
I've learned
have
it-
things to do. Yes.
hey,
Yes.
I've learned it works.
It's like the opposite of the saying, reality is more interesting than fiction.
Perfect in a fictional game. Why will my dogs not shut up? Okay.
Also, Jordy, question regarding the architecture of Griffin's Perch.
Yep.
You said it.
Wait.
Is it? is it built on top of the cliffs, or is it built like hewn from inside the cliffs, like the city of Jordan? I'm gonna post a picture.
No. It's more like
like this.
it's more like King's Landing, where it's on like a raised piece of like some raised ground, and it's sort of built atop it. That said, it does like it's not like sheer cliffs. Like around the cliff, like the land kind of flattens, reaches beaches. It definitely calms down, and there is some form of building or civilization built basically all the way to the water. The cliff there's less of, but like I said, there's if you look for them, you can see one or two like buildings just built onto the side. But no, it is built atop it. I would say like King's Landing is a good picture of what it
So
looks like.
it's less of a cliff and more like a rocky hill that slopes down.
Yeah,
towards
it's
the
more of a well, no, because it does at least at the very point above which you can see the main like castle where the leading family lives. That's built on a cliff, but around that it sort of slopes down. Basically,
Yeah,
if
there
you
is one
imagine the
spot
land as kind of like a triangle, the tip of the triangle is a cliff, and it is big, so it like holds a fair chunk of city on it, but it then slopes down into more of the surrounding area. Yeah, no, it is not built into the rock like that.
So it's not like a sheer 90-degree angle where everything is up top and there's nothing at the bottom.
No.
There's a bit of a slope.
Yeah, there's a slope.
Okay.
There are slopes and there are cliffs. There's both.
All right, I'm just trying to visualize it.
Yeah.
Kind of like Dover.
Yeah.
I have it pretty well visualized.
I can see it
Architecture's
in my
interesting.
brain.
Interesting, but Belgium's not
Brain.
interested in architecture
Skiing
only.
images. What is this?
Definitely.
That wonderful thing of D&D where we sit in a group, channel our power through rolling stones and collectively hallucinate. Definitely not a cult.
Alright. Well, what do we see when we eventually get up there?
As you go up, you see the much larger. It's a big city. This is one of the two largest cities in the world. It frequently competes with Arundel based on. You can use different metrics to judge which one is bigger, but like if it is the most populous city in Sinianor, and if not the largest, the second largest. It is large. Most of the buildings are built from natural stone or stone from around here. It has a very rounded design. There's a lot of towers and a lot of domed roofs, but there's also large streets, lots of markets. It is a big fucking city with a lot of commerce and things like that.
In terms of population, how big would you say it is? Like 10,000, 20,000?
Make a history check.
Ophion, help me out here. Actually, can I?
Only
help
you.
Yeah.
Only you're the one asking this question. Only you.
Damn it.
We don't
I'm
care about
curious
population,
about
you do.
I'm curious about the lore.
Yeah,
And
and
you
I'm
roll for it,
rapidly
bitch.
Damn
trying to
it.
come up
If
with a
you
good
want to
number.
read the lore, then go and read the wiki.
No, I don't
It
have
doesn't say
population.
size.
I don't have population size on the wiki. I don't fucking have time for that. All right, now with that, you can't guess what you've never seen a city this large. You can't begin to guess. Like maybe like you try and do some math in your head of like, okay, if we determine this many people per building. Although from this angle, you can't exactly tell how many floors are on some of the building. Holy shit, a lot of these buildings have multiple floors. You don't know.
I might just ask a guard or an official if I happen to come across them.
Yeah, if you want to ask one of them, give me that.
All right.
Interested in population? Not quite interesting if you ask me.
Well, depends. We've never been here before. Imagine the type of culture this place could have.
It's definitely a cultural hub. You definitely know like a lot of people from Cathera come here because it's across the Stepstone Isles. It's known as the City of Empire, as where Arundel competes with it. That's where the head nobility and the king live. This is where the people live. It is the City of Empire for a reason. It's fantasy New York City.
Okay, so
Yo,
if,
Just saying, this is just New York City.
It's
hey, yo,
fantasy
I'm
New York.
flying here.
so
Empire City.
if this is like New York City, Arendelle would be like Vatican City, more
Kind
official,
of.
more
Yeah,
cool.
basically.
Yeah.
Basically, although the Vatican, if you drop the religious aspect, it would be more like
Yeah.
Washington D.C.
Gotcha.
Because one reason why this is such a big spot is because what is it? There's the God's Road, which has a lot of big churches on it, but head of them is what's it called? With your history
Temple of
check.
Sacred Fire.
Yeah, that one, which is quite important. So this is also a very like a city of religious significance.
Give me that lore.
And if you want to give me some kind of charisma check did my Discord shut down just now?
I can
No.
hear you.
we
Okay,
can hear you.
my screen just fucking froze entirely. Awesome. So you're gonna have to tell me what your charisma roll is because I cannot see anything at the moment.
Charisma or persuasion?
Persuasion.
All right.
It'd be just
Can
close
I
if you didn't
please
have
roll
to.
above a 10 tonight?
That is
I got
exactly a 10.
technically 10. Got exactly a 10.
Well, what are you asking?
I don't know. I guess I'll just I'm not gonna purposely bother anyone, but if a guard like walks towards my way, I might just go, "Excuse me," and I just want to ask him a question as a new traveler to the city.
How can I help you, traveler?
I'm a bit curious. Could you tell me I've never been in a city this large before. What's the population size? Would you say 10,000, 20,000, larger?
Well, I can't say for sure. Not that sort of. Don't have that sort of expertise, but I've heard some the nobles claim we're above 300,000.
Really?
Yes.
That would be quite large.
Insight check. I mean, I'm assuming he's telling the truth, but I'll
Yeah,
roll
go
again
ahead.
just
Yeah,
to
go
be-
ahead.
Yeah.
Usually,
This one-
you can also ask like, "Do I think he's lying?" or things like that.
Found the one guard that lies about the population. It's actually 290,000.
Yeah, because insight can be used to detect lying. It can also be used to like read emotion or maybe get like general general personality off of a few actions.
13.
So generally, if you want to like truth detector a person, just say like ask like, can I tell if he's lying and stuff like that? And no, he seems to believe it. You don't know how accurate it is. This does not seem to be a census taker, but he believes it.
Well, looking around, Benedict's starting to believe it too.
Yeah,
He's a bit shocked right now.
It looks big enough that it could hold 300,000.
Frankly, Stella is just awestruck. Keep in mind, we already know Stella can't even conceptualize like a couple of thousand. Like that's already numbers too big for Stella. This is unfathomable.
Stella is malfunctioning. Carter is probably complaining about the smell and sort of just like, God, Arendelle is so much better of a city than this.
Why? Let me just start moving on. There's so much I want. There's things I want to do while there's
Yeah.
still daylight.
It's about noon right now. What would you like to do? Or do you just want to talk about like what you're planning on doing, if you're even planning on staying together? What are you guys doing?
Well,
Well,
I don't think we should be in too much of a rush to get the big errands done today. I wouldn't want to head immediately over to the Celestial Observatory. Not today.
I think first, or well, one of the first things we should do is find,
Lodge.
not a hotel, no, just
Find a-
someplace, an
find
inn
an
or
inn.
something.
Finding an
Find
inn.
inn.
That was gonna be first on my list of suggestions. Finding it early, someplace we could stay for at least maybe book for a decent amount of time. We don't know how long we're gonna be here. But somewhere with a good
also
rate
be
and
a
good
spot-
accommodations.
Agreed.
It'd also be a spot so that in case we all split up to do whatever tasks, we can all meet
Yeah.
up again.
Like a
I
meeting
think we're on the
point.
same page for today. Let's find an inn and then maybe go sightseeing.
Okay.
Yeah, and I actually do have one more thing on my to-do list today. I wasn't entirely making things up when I said I had someone I wanted to see here.
Very soon.
Maybe I could, maybe if things go well, I could make an introduction.
Well, none of you know where anything is. So,
Which is our first course of action.
so
Yes.
what are you doing to find places of any, like, whether it's inns, whether it's backstory stuff?
I'm buying a map of Griffon's Perch.
Where?
You don't know where to buy a map of Griffon's
Yeah.
Perch.
Reaching, like, this is where the markets are, so that you're by the wall, basically. On the land side, there is a wall. Not big, not well, it's big, but, and actually, yeah, most of you, it's a pretty big fucking wall outside, stone towers. But there's lots of people going in and out. The gates are all open, and behind it, it's definitely like a farmer's market. This is where where everyone comes in and out. All the traders go. So it's definitely a very chaotic road. As like you're walking, you kind of have to dodge as one of them like throws a pig's foot to a different stall. They're selling fruits. They're selling all kinds of stuff here.
Stella is going to do the awkward tourist thing, where Stella just like passes the first random person to pass Stella calls out to him is just like, excuse me, do you happen to know where I could buy a decent map of town? And just like immediately just start being awkward in the middle of town.
Oh, jeez. You can do
stop
that. I'm going
some dude on the side of the road, and he will. What do you say? Is that like a persuasion check?
Yeah, that was a persuasion roll.
Okay. He looks he looks down at you and seems like he legitimately wants to help you, and he'll just kind of go. Sûrement, Alessagal said, he does not speak common.
I look at the party and ask if anyone understood. Just kind of gesture like.
Do any no? Do any of you speak? Fucking open up, please.
Let's play. What's that language?
Let's play. Jordy, internet load faster so I can see the languages that I made up for this setting, please. Do any of you speak Hartan?
Do any of you have comprehend languages?
What's up?
Yeah, none of you speak Hartan. That's it sounds like something from the very western part of High Heart. Very German.
Wait,
Yeah.
none of you have comprehend languages either?
It's a ritual. It's gonna take me like 10 minutes.
You can cast ritual spells. You can cast ritual spells normally. Just if you ritual cast them, they take longer.
Hold on, did I? No, yeah, but
We
10
have
minutes.
10 minutes to
Use
figure
a
that out.
spell slot. I don't think we're going to be getting into too much
I
combat
didn't
today.
prepare it today.
So she has to ritual cast it.
Yeah, remember,
Oh.
she has to. Wizards have to pick their spells in advance.
Oh.
Yeah.
We can't all be spontaneous casters like you, Artificer.
And so Stella, realizing that there's a language barrier, is going to be like, someone hand me a map.
You don't
I
have
give
to
her
do
my
that.
map.
All right. And Stella's just going to kind of like, through like hand gestures, kind of like point to the map and then just like kind of gesture as around, like, and then like kind of gesture towards Coin, just kind of trying to communicate.
Some other
Map
guy will just like walk up and be like,
guy.
What do you need?"
Oh, I'm looking for somewhere to buy a map of town.
This is the lower section. I mean, you can find it if you look around, but he'll kind of point you up higher. Most writing and books are kept up there. You get the feeling this is where the common folk go. Literacy is not common in this fantasy world, so things like maps and stuff, if you looked for it, you could find it. But he'll kind of point you
Yeah.
towards some of the higher parts of the city where they have
And so it's
nicer
just gonna be like,
shops.
yeah, thank you.
You basically walked up to a farmer's market and asked, "Hey, how's your give me your finest reading material."
Okay.
To be fair,
Uh,
uh, big tourist energy.
Yeah.
And Stella's just gonna thank them and just hand the map back to Drog and be like, "All right, we got an answer."
oh boy. Let's just find this map and find lodging.
All right.
Also, can we take 10 minutes for Sam to cast comprehend languages? So that way
We can
we
find
don't.
another person in less than 10 minutes. This is.
Or
You're
just
you're
find the
in New
map.
York City, and the fact that you're in New York City, you stopped the first random guy you saw. Turns out it was like a Chinese tourist, and now your plan, instead of just finding a different person, is all right. I need to learn Chinese.
Let's just
Jesus
if
fucking
if there's maps
Christ.
around here, maybe not to sell but to buy, but just around here, let's look for the map or find another person.
I mean, yeah. What are you doing to find a place to stay?
I'm gonna listen around for any of the shopkeepers that speak common and
Pretty much everyone speaks common. It requires exceptionally bad luck or comedic timing to find a guy who does not speak common.
all right. Can I find a shop that's not like a simple shop that's not selling too many things
Yeah, you
and then
find
go up
one
to
that
them?
like they're selling little idols and like carvings. It seems like a whittler's shop. There's some religious symbols. Some of them are just like little figurines. Some of them are sigils. You don't know what they are. How can I help you, love?
Oh, I was merely I recently came to Griffin's Perch and while going to travel the market a little bit, I was looking to find lodging for me and my friends for a couple of days.
Well,
You wouldn't
that I mean, it's a big city. There's a lot of lodging. It depends on what you're wishing to pay, or if you're looking for something specifically.
uh not too expensive and just for a couple of days.
Well, if you look to the middle ring of the city, which seems to be where most of the middle class people are, I mean, there's the Oaken Tap, closer to the water. There's the Mariner's Respite. If you're okay with being a bit on the grubbier side, if you're looking to pinch a few coppers, there's the just down the road. There's the Stead and Stalls. It'll also be a good place to keep your steed, but most places have some sort of lodging for them as well. And if you're actually just willing to pay a bit more, I mean, the Silken Chateau is well known as the finest place in town.
Oh,
Shut up,
thank
dogs. Her dog in the background is barking.
well, thank
They
you.
have been disturbed by the shadow entity in the woods. You cannot stop it.
Apparently.
Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna quickly take a look in through their wares and find like the most that looks like a regular animal as a wart carving
Yeah,
and
you find like a scorpion carving.
yeah.
Not
How
not
much
like
are
a fully
this?
like whittled scorpion, but there's like a scorpion symbol on a small ring of wood or a small disc of wood.
How much is this?
That's only a few coppers. Actually, that'd be a silver.
Thank you for your help, as I'm going to give them 5 silver, and for your assistance as well.
Oh my! Thank you very much. And she'll like hand that to you, and, like do a quick bow.
As I do a courteous bow to them, and thank you. Have a great day.
Stella's just gonna like smirk a little.
What are you smirking for? You're just very bad at finding information. As I tell them about the Oaken Tap, the Sid and Steed, which those are probably our two best bets if we don't want to spend too much money yet.
I think the Oaken Tap sounds nice.
Yeah, I agree so as well.
And Stella's just going to take a moment and
uh,
just.
as you're discussing where to go, one guy will go, or you can go to. If you're looking for more fun, you can always stay at the Siren's Shore, and he'll point to one down there.
Siren Shore, you say?
What's so fun about there?
Well, they have better drinks, and he'll be on his way.
Better drinks.
bar, maybe?
Well, you suspect
Something-
that by the name the Oaken Tap, that they do in fact have drinks there as well.
I
But
think
better-
by the name the Siren Shore, we can also infer some things about that one as well.
Bordello.
What is the
I-
priest not fond of
I'm
spending his
intrigued by
time,
this
lady?
one.
Oh, I honestly don't give a damn. There are some religions, after all, that value certain carnal acts as a weird form of worship. It's just not my personal cup of tea.
And
I
neither
say
is
live
mine.
live and let live.
Well,
I certainly wouldn't be opposed to staying there. I don't imagine that they require their tenders to partake in such things, and it might be a nice way to it's just I imagine it'd just be a different kind of place.
well, it may be best less of a reputable place if it services.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with Ophion here. Draggy's gonna say as he's like stepping back and blushing a little bit.
Oh my, aren't you cute? But if you have such an issue, then maybe the Oaken Tap is where we should go.
Yes, that sounds like a fair plan.
Alright.
Well-
You get there pretty easily. And yeah, small building. They've got a nice inn and restaurant area. Not as populated at night, but there are a few people just eating or tossing back drinks in here. Large bearded dwarf at the behind it will go, and all of you lot staying for the night?
Yes, yes.
Yes, indeed.
How many rooms will that be?
Um,
3 rooms, right?
I think 4.
Or
What?
Ooh, ooh,
You mean
I'd like my own. I'd like my own room as we stay in town, if that's all right.
oh my, Carter will be ever so lonely.
He'll look at the group and be like, alright, one room for each of you. You get the feeling he doesn't acknowledge Carter as Ophion as getting their own rooms.
How much will that be, my good man?
Meals included?
You know,
I'd say yes, yeah.
I
That's
would say
about right.
yes. A little bit of extra.
6 gold a night for each room.
Ooh.
Not 6 gold, 6 silver. Sorry, I'm slip of the tongue. Can you
Oh.
imagine? We're not the
Yeah.
Silken
I was
Chateau.
going to. I
We're
was
not the
going to
Silken
say-
Chateau.
That's a bit steep.
We're not the Silken Chateau. We don't charge
You-
that much.
My heart skipped. My poor heart skipped a beat for a moment.
No, this is Griffin's Perch, but wow.
But 6 silver.
Like silver will be no trouble at all.
Got yourself a deal, my good man.
Alright, you have this for the night. If you want to stay more, you can pay however much you want to.
Of course. Let us, with our rooms
Stella's
now.
just going to like. For the DM's purposes, Stella's going to like set aside like a separate coin pouch, but for practical purposes, I'm just marking off 3 gold on my sheet, and just so I have it set aside, like I don't
5
know how long
rooms?
we're actually going to be staying here, but I'm setting aside for myself 5 days
Alright.
Yes.
at least for my own room.
Well, now that our lodging has been set, what is else? We still have time. Can we
Carter
probably make-
will say to you, Draggy, is any of my stuff in your bag?
Few things. What do you need?
All of my stuff.
Okay. Just don't do anything reckless.
Look, it's been... Thanks for the advice, but I've been looking for this place because... Well, I have my own reasons to come to Griffin's Perch. Thank you for watching my back, or you're welcome for saving all of you guys, but I've got my own business at the observatory.
Fine. And here I was thinking that we could all go together.
You guys want to come, you're free to, but that's where I'm going, and for the foreseeable future, that's where I'm staying.
Well then, let us all go there now while we have some time in the day, unless anyone else has any immediate options.
I uh I actually think now might be a good time to I think before getting too settled into town, I think it might be a good idea to meet up with someone who might know the town a little better, help us get around a little more.
Who is going where?
Uh, Ophion, you were interested in the observatory, right?
Perhaps.
And we have some research to do.
Yes.
Let's get ahead on that.
Hmm.
All right.
So we're going to the observatory.
You two are going to the observatory. Draghi, Benedict, Stella, what are you guys doing?
For our first day here, I'll just do what Stella's doing, and I'll tour around the city just
You
to see,
don't know what
get.
Stella is doing at the
Ella,
moment.
Oh,
Phyllis
well,
said she's gonna find someone in
oh,
the city.
I'll just ask Draggy and go, hey, Draggy, you want to just tour the city, see, just get our bearings, maybe see if we can find locations of interest.
Might as well.
Okay.
Oh, and Drug, I would like to mention, I might need your help on a project later, but not for today at the very least.
You know, I was just thinking something similar to Elstrom.
Yes. But first I need to do some research and some things before I even attempt that. Pressing matters, of course.
Okay. We'll do things based on amount of people going. So 3 people are heading towards the Celestial Observatory. It's pretty easy to find. It's kind of built on its own cliff, so it's a little further from the other. From it's in the high. You see that because it's kind of built on a hill. Griffin's Perch kind of has 3 shelves. There's the lowest one, which is like where a lot of the common and lower folk live. There's a middle one, middle class normal shops, basically like the nicer part of the city, and then there's the upper shelf, which is where the nobility, a lot of fancy shops, basically the fancy part of town. Although not like it's not inaccessible. You're free to go there, and there is definitely trade and markets and stuff there. The Celestial Observatory is on the 3rd shelf, but like I said, it's kind of built apart from the rest. And in going there, yeah, it is a large building, mostly constructed of black stone. It consists of one large circular building surrounded by 4 small domed towers. Emerging from the top of the largest one is a contraption of unknown mechanism to you all. A large, looks like cylinder of metal and glass. You have no idea what it is. In character, you have no idea what it is.
Hmm.
My God. I'm going to tap on it.
It is not. It is. You are at the front door. You are not inside and cannot tap on it. It is coming out of the roof area.
Oh. Alright.
If you want to get up there, you either have to go through the building or do some parkour climbing the walls and ceiling to tap on this thing.
Or not yet. Alright then, already quite interesting. How we head in?
Of course.
As you step in, you find that the main area of it, common folk, like you are allowed to just wander into the main area. There's a small library section, and then a bunch of people in darker robes just kind of wandering around, some of them trading notes. This is certainly. It feels like you're back in school, It feels like you're back in school, Ophion.
School?
Well, you trained in magic. So it feels like you're back in those classes. Yeah, your trainer was from the Laird of Arcanum. He's definitely a by the books teacher. So it feels like you're back in there, but with a lot of other people. They're trading notes. There's a public library section, although all the books are chained to the shelves. And there's a front desk where it seems one guy is sort of showing people around. Um, he's wearing a large cloak that looks like it's made of feathers, mostly black, but with a line of white down the sides and two white things on either side of him. Kind of looks like a magpie. Um, he seems to be guiding people one way or another. Oh, and as you step in, you step over a small magical line on the doors, and the air is instantly really dry and fairly cold. It kind of feels like the beginning, like an autumn evening. You suspect they keep things cold to preserve the books. You don't like it, Ophion.
Oof. I'm not a fan of this either.
Neither of us like the cold. This is just
It may be cold, but I don't like it either.
So what are you doing?
Right? I have my own research to do, but if you would bide me some time, I would join you in a little bit, and we can do a greater deep dive into this object, if you wouldn't mind.
of
Actually,
course. Hmm?
I think you might find this interesting if I could find the books about this. It is
Well,
magic in nature.
well, you have me intrigued.
Well,
But
let's see if we can find the resources and keep the interest going, shall we?
yes.
So are you just going to the library, or are you asking someone for like specific subject stuff?
I'm gonna ask the man in the front who's guiding people about books I want to look for first.
Yes, how can I help you, you two?
Ah, yes. I was looking for reference books about old giant language and the magics therein.
Our book on giants can be found down aisle D, shelf 3. He'll sort of point you to where that is. He does seem to be looking quizzically at the snake, although he saw you guys talking, so he's clearly going like, it's not a normal familiar. Very interesting.
You, you know that book also involves the rune magic.
Of course, there are direct illustrations of the giants and their language. Fortunately, that is the translated version, so you will be able to read it.
Oh, don't worry about that. I am from a place that's not much of an issue.
My, you speak 2 languages. You must be a genius.
Or
Very impressive, sir.
I understand that from well-educated place that might not be much, but I shall take the compliment as is. Right then. Thank you for your assistance.
All right.
We weren't the only ones.
Yeah. Koalas were a mistake too, but
Mhm.
I love how as I was unmuting the stream, the first thing that could be heard is koalas were a mistake too.
According
Yeah,
to
'cause
all new laws of aviation,
No.
we're
All
not
right.
doing this again.
All right.
koalas have to clap.
Yeah. So with that, that's Draghi and Vel. You get your fancy your new scythe is a lot lighter. They've sort of carved out the middle of it, so there's like holes in the blade to make it lighter. It's probably angled slightly more upwards, giving it a deeper curve. It looks more like a crescent moon on a stick now, but
Perfect name for Priscilla.
yeah. De- Deck scythe completed. Um, with that, I forget where other people were going.
Benedict and
Me
Ophion were
You
going
never,
to
you never
Fort White
asked.
Planet.
to the Temple of White Flame.
Oh,
And
okay.
then we're getting her scribe shit done. His scribe shit. I forget off against a dude.
Yep.
It's
To be fair, I'm not sure you can tell with Ophion.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Stella,
I
what are
don't
you
think
doing?
Ophion would allow you
yeah.
to spend.
Stella, what are you
Um,
doing again?
First things first, Stella would probably take another check around town to see if, anxiously pacing like an anxious dog to see if, Triple C has arrived yet. Investigation check, I'm guessing.
Yeah, give me another investigation check.
All right, let's see you fail this or get lucky.
Another 9.
With this time, because you've had a day to ponder on it, I will lower the DC by 1. So a 9 works.
Your mercy is gracious.
At the entrance of the city, near the entrance, you see one guy like entering with a bunch of on very cheap parchment, kind of drawn on quickly, a bunch of Triple C posters. Not someone you
I,
recognize.
I, I approach him and be like, "Hey, can I see one of those for a moment?"
Of course, wonders and sights beyond your imagination, entertainment beyond compare. He's already starting to go on his speech. Do you want to stop him?
No, I'll let him finish.
Entertainment extraordinaire. In but a few short days, the Constable's Crown Court of Carnival Curiosities will be arriving at this here town. Now, if you would like one night of that, and he'll go on his sales pitch about like where they're going to be setting up right outside the city. Yes, they'll be setting up right outside the city walls, though with full protection of the guards, so you need not worry. Um, Headed by Constable Car. No, wait, no, he's not. He's the Barker. Oh, wait, no. Headed by Constable Carwayne. Carwyn? I have no idea how to pronounce that name. And even he says that. In but a few short days, they'll be arriving.
How soon would you imagine?
Oh,
Do you
but a
think
few
they'd be
short
arriving?
days.
Few days. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, we hope to see you there.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And Stella's just gonna go back to the inn and just kind of just think for a moment.
You sit at the inn, probably get a cup of mead or ale or something, and it's late morning, so most people are gone. You're kind of just alone in the bar thinking.
Um, at this point, Stella would probably not be going for alcohol after what happened last night.
Okay.
After getting plastered after a single drink last night, Stella would just be like, "Ugh, I'll take something. I'll take something
At this time, it's actually
lighter."
the owner comes in. An older bronzish, brownish scaled dragonborn just polishing stuff in the corner. He'll see that like get you a cup of water with some lemon in it. Um, and he just kind of retreats. He's just polishing glasses in the corner, trying not to talk.
Mm. One to two business day.
Okay. And with that, unless you have anything else you'd like to do,
Not at the moment.
all right. The snake and the priest. Um, you find your way to the Gods Road. It is a large road, one of the larger ones and one of the older ones in the city. You see at the end is a very large temple. Kind of looks like, I don't know, maybe like St. Peter's Basilica, if you know what that looks like. Wait, am I even thinking of the right building?
Are you?
What the fuck is
I
Pin
don't know.
Yeah, it kind of looks like St. Peter's Basilica, if you want to Google that. Um, with some flying buttresses on the side. It looks like something that would be right at home in Anor Londo, honestly. Um, which is the head temple of the White Flame. You see on its sides are a number of like smaller fires. Like between each of those columns is a smaller one of those cold gray fires that are used. Um, Along the sides are smaller temples to individual god. Not the main nine, as the main nine are mostly Oh, yeah, actually, there's smaller temples to some of the gods. Some of the main nine. Some of them are even smaller gods that you can find on like the avatars or local spirits. Yeah, this is the Gods Road.
Quite an impressive building.
Yeah.
Look at that architecture. Oh, yeah, yeah. The priest here is like borderline salivating. So
Yeah, it's quite different from where I'm from.
more
Nice.
precisely, Ophion.
I don't know. It's very distant. I'm not sure if you heard of it, but off in the Emerald Coast is a town called Tall Trees. Trying to think that's the name of the
Tall
town.
Trees Town. Is
Tall
that the
Trees
island
Town.
nation?
Yes. Yes, in the Emerald Coast. And
Could you mute your
as the
mic,
name of
Jess? Well,
implies, the town is constructed entirely out of trees. It's I believe, well, of course, it's all of the buildings are built inside and around the quite wonderful trees.
A town made entirely out of trees. I mean, fitting for a town called Tall Trees Town. What are the politics like there? And the religions? What's the culture like?
do you want me to answer that for you, Ophion?
Sure.
Give me a history check to see how much you would know, because I don't think you left your tree very often.
No. Well, I mean, I don't know too much about the politics and stuff. Wizards tend to be rather isolated, you know? I do not know anything.
A bit of a homebody. I understand.
Yeah.
Well, not not much of me to really understand, except what you might already know. I grew up in a town known as Jogmore in Vaenor, central Vaenor specifically, by the Moon Lake. Quite the religious hub of Vaenor, to be honest. And, well, yes, ever since then, I've been trying to see what type of fine religious locales I can discover on my travels, and here is the Holy Grail. Pun intended. So, would you like to head inside, see what we can find there? There might be some nice magical trinkets and scrolls for you to uncover.
This is more of the. We can go there later to the. You're here for some religious purpose. We'll be here for. I mean, I assume you're here to worship at your god's altar as such.
That, and just to see what it's like. This could be a once in a lifetime opportunity. All right.
All right.
All right. If you're
Uh,
going in, are you going into the main temple, or would you like one of the side ones? Basically, the side ones will have, like I said, local spirits and stuff. Even some from further away. However, there's also the different aspects of the gods, which are, if you look at like the sub gods underneath them, there's like small ones to those, or even like slightly larger temples to some of the gods in particular, or are you going to the main one, which is explicitly about the nine entire?
the 9 legal main gods,
Yes, the
correct?
nine main. No, the big ass church is not for the nine satans. It's for the nine good quotation marks gods.
One sanctioned by the church. Don't worry about it.
So
The
all
ones
the other minor
sanctioned by the
ones aren't
government.
officially sanctioned, or they're just like minor local deities, or
Well, if you look, the what's it called? Um, the religion here, you would know this. You're a priest. It's slightly Hindu-ish in the idea that gods can have aspects, which are both their own unique entity, but also considered like the sub or pseudo will of that god. And it's less about like, oh, this is actually how these powerful beings work, and more of like the Roman idea. It's a mixture of like the Roman idea of, for the love of God, just tell these people that their God is in our pantheon so that they worship our pantheon. And like I said, a little bit of the
God, and you're like, you're Apollo now.
yeah, a little
oh,
bit
kind of
of
like what the
the
cat.
yeah, and a little bit of the like Hindu idea of, yeah, no, these are like aspects of the god. They're both their own unique entity and a part of the greater being on their own. It's a little, it's not contradictory. It's based in the beliefs. So like for example, like Serenre, Serenre represents like fire and like dawn and like the fight against evil, while someone like Lathander worships like the morning and fertility and like good crop stuff, and both of those are therefore wrapped up in Pelor, the god of day and good stuff. Um, Pelor is the most
Kind of like what the
popular god.
Christians did with saints and pagan gods. Hey, your pagan
Basically,
gods
yeah,
really are
basically
saint.
that, the Roman thing of combining gods with a sprinkle of Hindu aspects. So the question is, do you want to go to the main church of the nine, or is there somewhere specific that you wanted to check out?
I'll head to the main church of the 9.
Or do you want to be like, hey, yo, where's the temple to Tiamat?
Yeah, no. I'm not that stupid, and I don't worship Tiamat, so why would I want to do that?
Do you?
I don't
You're
worship Tiamat.
You know, all this good God stuff is great, but I could really use some lolth in my life.
Yeah, what the fuck is need, lol.
Anyone want some lolth? What does she give
Have
her
y'all
followers?
heard the word of Asmodeus?
yo,
Y'all
wait, whoa, 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 whoa.
Actually, probably at the very edge of it, there is some guy who's like, yo, you know how much your soul is worth? Well, I can tell you, because here at Asmodeus Incorporated.
Follow Loth. What does she give her followers? Spiders and the spiders.
What does Loth believe in? Spiders. But like, what are her
Spiders
like?
and backstabbing. That's it.
What are her tenets of belief?
Spiders. And fuck other spiders and backstabbing.
Spiders
That's what
and
you get.
fuck you. We have spiders and we have fuck you. Welcome.
Fuck other spiders and fuck other spiders.
Yes. Also, we did create Driders, so also fuck other spiders.
In more ways than one.
Anyhow,
Yeah,
before
yeah.
I devolved into stupidity, what did you say you were looking for?
I'm venturing into just the main temple.
All right. You see really grand halls with high roofs depicting images of celestials and in divine moments. At the entrance, there's like a bunch of candles with little figurines of individual saints and aspects. Behind it, 9 massive statues of the main gods. And there is a service, although today is very low populated. There's not a lot of people here. Although there is a small service to the Raven Queen.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think this is a funeral. Maybe we should.
No,
like-
it's not a funeral, but the Raven Queen is one of the 9 because death is inevitable. Though she's definitely the least worshipped of all of the 9. And
I
yeah,
imagine
there's
this
not
is
a
a
lot.
very
It
somber
is a very
season.
goth sermon going on, as one of them speaks of how, like, all souls must eventually fall under her protection as she guides them through the astral plane towards the gateway of light. And we may not know what goes beyond there, but that is the domain of the Raven Queen. The memories of all the dead reside in her palace. It is an extremely goth sermon.
Everyone doing black eyeshadow and
Yeah, they're dressed to
Dreadlocks.
part. Yeah, they've got the pale makeup plus dark eyeshadow. Half of them are wearing black veils. You frankly, as you step in, you're like, wait, did we accidentally go to the Loth one? Did we go to the Loth one by accident? Nope, it's Raven Queen. It's Raven Queen. Okay, good.
Very somber affair.
There is a section in front of each of the main 9 where people going for that particular god can worship without, while they try not to look at the procession of Raven Queen people.
yeah. I don't know about you, Ophion, but as a follower of Nuada, I'm going to see what the Nuadans have to offer. See what philosophical insights and theological discoveries they can see, and maybe I can record it, he says, as he whips out a writing quill and his handy dandy sketch book.
Nuada is very popular in this city because of the Celestial Observatory here, and they really like Nuada. And yeah, there's a few people, not so much praying as much as it seems like this is an extended library section where there are a few people on, like, rather than pews, there are there are pews, but they have like a desk section on their backs so that the people behind can write and read. And it does kind of seem half library, as like there are just a bunch of people, like a few of them writing. There are some just praying, but a lot of them are writing and reading in the presence of the Nuada statue, which you'll see. Yeah, it does have like a fey elven appearance. It's mostly stone, though the right hand is maybe not made of, but at least coated in silver.
Yep, I know what that is. It's because he lost his hand because he tried to pull an Odin.
He tried to pull an Odin. He failed.
So basically this.
He wasn't quite Odin enough. Yeah. There's not a sermon going on, though you could talk to the people if you wanted.
Yeah. Water went down the wrong pipe.
Yeah, basically.
It's basically r/I am very smart as a religion.
God. I want to laugh, but my brain hurts too much.
Alright.
Ow.
Meme aside, so actually, Othin, you'd probably find this place very interesting considering your wizardry status. So, yeah, why don't we ask around?
Of course, let's look.
Okay. I mean, yeah, they're kind of praying. And once again, there's not a like actual sermon for Nuada going on at this point, but yeah, there's people studying. Some of them are probably like wizards and stuff. Would you like to talk to people?
Is there there's books? What sort of texts are there here?
Everyone brought their own. Actually, there probably would be a section where there's just scrolls.
Yeah.
God damn. Yeah. You can't laugh. My brain hurts. Oh,
You doing okay, Jameer?
I drank water and went down the wrong pipe,
Oh.
and then I coughed myself so hard that I have a headache.
Oh.
So I'm wonderfully fine. It's just like, goddamn.
Okay. So, is there anyone in particular? Would you like to just accost one of the people praying and like talk to them, or are you just
Is
going
there
Hey,
to?
like
you
someone
egghead.
that looks like they're not quote unquote studying or worshiping?
I mean, they're all to varying degrees. Some of them are less like into it.
Hmm. Can I maybe look at someone who looks the most kind or the most willing to share?
Yeah,
Like it's like an elder priest. I can talk to someone who looks
yeah.
like they'd be
There's
willing to talk.
there's an older guy, just slowly sifting through the scroll. He seems to be looking for one he hasn't read yet. He's read them all.
Yeah, I suppose I'll walk up to him. Or are you coming with Ophion?
Um, fine. I don't see why not.
Go on, eggheads. Do egghead things. My brain
Listen,
hurts.
since like because someone mortal gave Ophion intelligence, his relationship with the gods is a little bit more distant. But I
Ilfion
think
is
that
this world's version of an atheist, which is
he
not the
knows they
no.
exist.
No. I think the D&D equivalent of an atheist would not be someone who doesn't believe they exist, because in a world where angels literally exist, it's kind of hard to say like some higher power isn't real. It's more an atheist believes they aren't worthy of worship.
It's just like people can worship them. It's just that since someone made Ophion intelligent, someone mortal, it's like a bit. There's like a layer of disconnect, you know.
Fair.
It's the power of the people that can do a lot, just as much as gods can in certain respects.
All right.
But
Well,
Nuada's
actually, no.
probably the one that is the most in line with Ophion's like kind of ethics and stuff.
Yeah, you'd
You
probably
know,
like Ophion, like Nuada the most. Yeah. All right.
Actually, that'd probably be a
so I'm definitely.
mesotheist. If there wouldn't be an atheist, it'd be a mesotheist.
I don't even know what that word is. Okay.
Someone who believes in God, but he hates them.
Okay. Well, I don't think it's so much that you hate them, just like fuck, I'm not sure if like praying to this like higher being like matters, like or stuff like that.
Apatheist, that's what it is.
Yes, an apatheist. That's okay, that needs to be a shirt. Anyway, what are you asking this dude, Benedict?
One moment, one moment, please.
Okay.
Yeah, Ophion can go first, actually, if he wants.
Yeah, Ophion, you doing anything? Or are you
I'm,
just kind of like doing the
I'm
thing
just
of wow, this
deferring.
architecture is really cool, like that's about it.
I'm deferring to Benedict for all of this because I don't know how this goes.
Okay. I guess I'll go first. Go. So I'll walk up to him if he doesn't look too busy doing something else. To go. Um. Hello. Why? Hello, good sir. If you don't mind, do you mind if I speak with you briefly?
No, of course, young one. How may I be? How may I help you? What the fuck is this voice I'm doing?
Old. His accent is old.
Okay, well this is his voice now. Fuck it. I didn't plan this character.
I am a traveler from Feyenoord, and well, let's just say I'm on a bit of a pilgrimage at the moment. A pilgrimage with no precise destination in mind, but a pilgrimage nonetheless. I'd be interested in knowing what Nuwada himself has to offer. I fancy myself a worshipper of his, and I want to know how I can best embody it. What
Well,
was some advice you can give to a young acolyte like myself? And he whips out his notebook and he starts like ready to take notes.
well, Nuada offers us that most great of gifts, understanding. You see, the other gods may speak of high concepts such as good and evil, redemption, forgiveness, all that, but those of Nuada understand that it is the marks and sins of the past that linger most often, and one must learn from history lest they repeat it. Nuada's offerings of understanding um, grant in a communal sense. You see, that is what is most important, is that no other is the god of learning and teaching simultaneously, and thus those of his following are both eternal students and eternal teachers. They seek to spread the knowledge that they gather around the world, for in such with such understanding we may elevate ourselves, rebuke the failings of the past, and grow stronger without them. Um,
Nerd.
yeah, so very much so. In particular, but it is not simply that ideology. The spirit of Nuada himself is said to flourish and foster whence his followers discover and learn. For he both assists in that learning, guiding us down the proper paths, while also understanding himself. And that is, he'll continue on about this for a while.
Huh. Once he's done, I don't want to interrupt him. Once he's done, I go, interesting. I know I know the Church of Nuada offers or seeks to understand as much about the world and magic and the physical as possible. What of the metaphysical? What is Nuada's position on morality and ethics? Does he have one?
Well, of course, of the nine gods, he is the most, if you pardon the pun, understanding. For he, for it is about acknowledgement of. If you are simply looking for absolution, he is not one to find. You see, his is more a sense of community, of working together towards a higher goal. Now, um, strict lines of good and evil are not so much are not as clear, uh, as that is not a matter of fact but more of opinion. Um, However, he'll basically go on that he's not really one to be as like black and white of these are the good, these are the evil. But it's more about like community and doing what you can for everyone. He's very much a like everyone knowledge is power and we must like give that to everyone sort of thing.
I think the whole time Ophion is trying to like nod sagely, like, yes, yes, I understand. I am going to get a good grade in church.
Yes.
Oh, like a good great, like a greater good kind of mentality.
It's very much a greater good, like greater
Also,
understanding. It's very like high-minded and like matters of good and evil, right and wrong. That's very worldly. Nuada is much more of like a high-minded, like collective intelligence and understanding sort of thing.
also, also, I think Ophion's a little bit confused because he thought that Benedict was like a priest or something of Nuon, and he's like, shouldn't you know this already?
I wish to know what our
He's
elders.
you suspect he's never like
Yeah.
not been to like as big a church of that. It's like just because you've read the Bible that the Pope can still tell you things, although this guy is not at that level.
This is not the Nuada Pope.
Yeah, this is not the Nuada Pope. Um,
Come on, Ophion. This is God Central here. We have to learn something new here as
yeah,
opposed to any other church.
this is it's a bit of an introductory speech because this guy doesn't know exactly how familiar with Nuada Benedict is. Um, but there certainly are like bits or like phrasings at the very least because Nuada has more books written about him than any other god. He has
Yeah.
where all the other gods are like some of the wilder gods like Volskar and stuff, they're like, oh yeah, people worship me how they choose. I don't bother like writing that stuff down to others. Like I